Good morning, this is your Stat Sensei, Mr. Spensei, and this is an assignment on CUSS and BS and calculating outliers. We're going to put the calculating outliers in a second video. So we're just going to look at CUSS and BS, and this is 042.4. 2.4. And we have four graphs that we have to describe. We have to cuss them out. Please remember, CUSS is for center, unusual features, shape, and spread. All right, center is where is the middle of the graph? Well, when I'm looking at this particular very first graph, I'm going, you know what? It's not perfect, but if I had to eyeball, to me, the center looks like it's about at 40. So I'm just going to sit there and go, you know what? Appears to be centered at 40. All right. The next one, unusual features. Unusual features asking about whether they're gaps or outliers. We don't have any gaps. We don't have any outliers. So in this case, there are no unusual features, no gaps or outliers. So the graph has no gaps or outliers. There are no unusual features. The next one, because remember we said that this was center, unusual features, and when we say that, we mean gaps or outliers. The next one is shape. Well, when I look at the shape of the graph, it's like, well, what does it look like? So I'm going to refer back to my notes and see what my notes have as far as different shapes. And I go, okay, shape. Symmetric. It's not that, not that, but it's kind of like that. And by the way, we like the word approximately. So this is approximately symmetric. And we also go, oh, it looks like approximately the same height. And the key word is approximately, so uniform, so symmetric and uniform. Definitely not mound shape, definitely not skewed left or right, and definitely not bimodal. We don't have two humps. So our best choice here looks like symmetric and uniform. And you could just say it's uniform because all uniform is symmetric. So in this case, our shape is approximately uniform and reasonably symmetric, approximately symmetric and uniform. It's not perfect. All right. It's not a perfect block, but it's close. All right. The next one is spread. And that just asks for how spread out the data is. And we have lots of measures of spread, IQR, standard deviation, but the easiest is range. And in this case, it looks like, oh, it looks like our high value is 55 and our low value is about 25. So our range would be about 55 minus 25. So the cluster lies within the interval 25 to 55 with a range of 30 because that is the 55 minus 25. And range is always the largest value minus the smaller value. Okay, our second one. Well, when I look at the second graph, it's like, you know what? My center. Well, this is about 45. This is about 50. So between 45 and 50, so about 47.5. So when I look at this, I go, yeah, you know what? The center looks like it's about 47.5. So that's what I'd write down. Centered at about 47.5. The next thing is unusual features. Well, when I look at this, I go, you know what? I definitely have, and unusual features is we're talking about gaps and outliers. I don't really see any outliers, but right here from 25 to 30, I have a gap. From 40 to 45, I have a gap. And from 50 to 55, I have a gap. So I need to list those. So there are gaps at 27.5, 42.5, and 52.5. And you could write it like that because that would be where the center is, the center of the gap. But you could have also said the gaps at 25 to 30 and 40 to 45 and 50 to 55. Either way, however you'd like to write it, this is shorter, but you can write it either way. When I look at the shape, I'm like, well, if I fit a curve to this, so I always try to fit a shape to it. I'm like, oh, what is that? Well, it definitely falls in the symmetric category because I see that. and I also see mound shape. So reasonably symmetric and mound shape is the way I would describe that. All right, so the reasonably symmetric and mound shape. Should not have said uniform. Reasonably symmetric and mound shaped. The next thing is our spread. Well, how spread out is the data? Well, my lowest value is at 20 and my highest value is at 70. So my range is the clusters lie within 20 to 70 with a range of 50. And remember, range is largest minus smallest, or 70 minus 20, and that gives us 50. All right, moving on to number 3. So number 3 is going to be pretty difficult to figure out where the center is, and we kind of just have to estimate it. So I'm going to say that that center is probably between 25 and 30, maybe at 25. So it's about there. All right. So I would just say that, you know what, approximately 25. Okay. And truthfully, if you give a range, you'll be okay. The main cluster is centered at, and I'm going to say it's centered at 25 or 25 to 30 because I'm more confident that it's in this area right here. Okay, so 25 to 30 sounds good. If you say 25, you're pretty good. All right, can't be exactly on something shaped like that. It's difficult to be perfect. Unusual features, and it's like, well, do I have any gaps or outlier? And it's like, yeah, I definitely have an outlier at 75 to 80. All right. I wouldn't say that they're gaps. What I would say is there is an outlier at 75 to 80, or there appears to be an outlier at 75 to 80. When I fit a curve to it, it's like, well, if I fit a curve to it, it's going to look kind of like that. And what looks kind of like that? Well, it's not symmetric. It doesn't look like any of those. It's not like that. Almost this, but what's better would be skewed to the right because it looks like it's been stretched to the right. The tail is to the right. So in this case, the graph is skewed to right, is skewed to the right. All right. And then lastly, we need to talk about our spread. Well, our smallest data value appears to be at 15, and our largest data value is at 80. So our range would be 80 minus 15. So the distribution has a range of 65, and where that came from is the 80 minus the 15. We also want to talk about the main cluster, and the main cluster lies within the interval 15 to 40. So 15 to 40 for the main cluster. Okay. Main cluster 15 to 45. I'm sorry, 15 to 45, which is what it says here. The next thing, we look at this next graph, and it's kind of a weird looking graph. This next graph, it's like, where's the center? Well, first off, the center looks fairly easy to find. The center looks like it's about at 20. Okay. Do I have any gaps? No. Do I have any outliers? No. So there doesn't appear to be any unusual features. So no gaps or outliers, no unusual features. The next thing, the shape. Well, if I fit a curve to this, I'm going to go, oh, I have two humps. And when I look back and I was like, oh, it's a camel. Yeah, it's bimodal. The peaks don't have to be the same, but it looks like I have two distinct peaks. So this looks like to be a bimodal distribution. And we need to say where those peaks are. The bimodal distribution with peaks at between 10 and 15, so 12.25 or 12.5, and then between 25 and 30, so at 27.5. So it looks like we have a peak right here That's at 12.5. And then we have a peak right here at 27.5. And then finally, it says the cluster, the main or the cluster should be lie within the interval from 5 to 35, which gives us a range of 30 because remember, it's always the largest minus the smallest. 35 minus 5 is 30. All right, I hope that helps, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.